I had wanted a Steam Deck for a while before I finally made the purchase and took the leap of faith on some brand new hardware. At the time, my primary incentive was to simply chip away at my ever-growing backlog during my commute to work, or maybe when on lunch break, or just when traveling in general, as anyone who uses any portable gaming device would. That was the plan initially, but I faced some hurdles even just in the purchase completion phase. See, before I could finalize anything, Nintendo announced the Switch 2, and I was already 90% sold on the Steam Deck at this point in time, but that 10% kept me at bay at least until the Switch 2 finally released. It was then I felt I could make a truly concrete financial decision, and I did exactly that. After getting my Steam Deck, I used it almost exactly as I initially planned to. Brought it with me everywhere, chipped away at the backlog by playing a bunch of games on deck exclusively. Last year this included stuff like the Force Unleashed and Mafia Definitive Edition. Ultimately, 5 titles were completed in their entirety on deck in 2025. This might not sound like anything crazy, but you've got to also factor in that I was also playing a bunch of games on desktop, console, VR, Nintendo Wii, etc. You know, it's pretty good. However, despite all this, I faced a major issue in my backlog journey on deck, something I didn't foresee, which is that I would, upon owning a Steam Deck, find myself making purchases with the system in mind, buying titles I could just spend hours mindlessly goofing around in to kill time. And while a lot of fun was had with these kinds of games and they served their purpose well, I would make very little to no progress on my backlog clearance journey by doing this. Choosing to play stuff like Brotato and Vampire Survivors over rolling some single player campaign credits. What made things even worse is that I loved using my Steam Deck so much that I would even begin to use it at home in place of my desktop or console, meaning those pure time sync titles began biting into my legit backlog clearance game time. We'll chalk this up to a common rookie mistake when attempting to properly utilize the Steam Deck hardware as a backlog clearance secret weapon. It's all well and good opting for comfort in my gaming sessions, prioritizing easy quick fun over tangible experience, but having my backlog progress come to a complete halt for me is the opposite of fun. So far this year, I've only really been playing God of War, and that's between deck and desktop. Side note, I made a full-length video discussing my time with the game as an Xbox fan turned neutral through the lens of its Game of the Year win over Red Dead 2, so feel free to give that a click. But yeah, something's gotta give. I need some kind of drastic change in my current backlog clearance journey, which is why I'm making this video. I need to engage with my Steam Deck in a way that will guarantee I better last year's tally of 5 games beat on deck. This portable gaming PC might not be the strongest of my devices, but it's hands down the one I value most. So step 1 will be simple: uninstall every time syncer title from my Steam Deck. No more Brotato, no more Vampire Survivors for the foreseeable future. From this day forward, all my efforts will go into tighter, more linear campaign experiences. As things stand, my current list of games I'm playing at the moment is pretty hefty, although they are pretty spaced out across platforms. Epic Mickey and Sonic Colors on the Wii, Vader Immortal and Super Hot on the MetaQuest, Dragon Quest VII on 3DS, and currently Batman Arkham Blackgate and X-Men Origins Wolverine on deck. Yes, I am overwhelmed and finding myself so caught up in gaming at the moment that I often find myself opting to instead spend my free time watching movies instead of playing games. Check out my letterbox, by the way. But all that's about to change. Starting now, I'm going all in on Steam Deck gaming and fully intend on steamrolling my way through at least 1 game a month on deck. That tally can fluctuate depending on game length, but generally I want to end the year with at least 10 games beat on this thing. All that being said, I guess it's time to finally see if this thing is truly deserving of the title Backlog Killer. Has your Steam Deck made quick work of your backlog, or did you find yourself falling into the same trap I did? Do let me know in the comments. As always, this has been the Game Burrow. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.